So currently, Congress is working on this massive omnibus bill, right? So what they're going to do is that they're going to try to pass a spending bill fairly soon, and they have to, or else the government's going to run out of money. We're going to have another government shutdown. Now, of course, Republicans and Democrats, they desperately want to avoid a shutdown, mostly because of their donors, but also it looks bad really politically, and Americans generally don't like their government shut down. So they're working on this piece of legislation. And of course, there are numerous factions that are trying to put in their own policy riders into this. Now, one of them was a fix for the ACA. So, look, the ACA is kind of broken. Of course, there have been changes by the Trump administration as well to try and further break it so they can say, oh, look at that. The ACA is completely 100% failed. We need to repeal it. We need to get rid of it. Because that, of course, is a gigantic dream for the lobbyists because it equals a tax cut. Anyway, now, as I said, one of these riders would have been a way to fix the ACA. Now, that's what the Democrats want. The Democrats want to fix the ACA, but the Republicans, in return, what they want to do, and they put in their own rider for this, is to expand the Hyde Amendment. Now, according to HuffPost, Republicans want to push a bunch of riders, including one that would expand the Hyde Amendment and apply it to ACA money. Now, the two kinds of payments that make up that money are basically cost-sharing reductions. Now, this would reimburse insurers for discounts to low-income enrollees and also reinsurance. Now, reinsurance covers the cost of some especially sick enrollees, and both payments, of course, taken together, are basically aimed at trying to lower premiums. Now, premiums, look, continue to go up, of course, and that was the whole problem with the ACA to begin with. Premiums were always going to rise. Now, the bonus of the ACA is they rose at at a much lower percentage rate than they were before, but they are still rising nonetheless. So they try to put this, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take taxpayer money, and we're going to go and try to pay a larger share of that so you don't get hit as hard by those premium increases. Again, I think that's a Band-Aid. What we need is a single-payer Medicare for all, which we can negotiate with the drug companies and hospitals and things like that to keep costs under control. Because you remember, these are private health insurance corporations, and they raise their premiums so they can get more of a profit. Now, the Republicans have decided that since they're not going to get their policy rider, the Hyde Amendment expansion, that they're just going to shut the whole thing down. So the House has just reported that it is taking away their support for an Obamacare fix. They're not going to support it if they don't get support for their piece of legislation. In fact, multiple GOP lawmakers leaving a conference meeting held on Monday evening to discuss the omnibus funding bill said that those payments will not be included in a final bill, in large part because of a dispute with Democrats over abortion restrictions. Now, Republicans need Democratic votes in order to pass this. So, with firm Democratic opposition, and it is a surprise to actually use that language because Democrats are hardly firm in anything, but with firm Democratic opposition to the abortion restriction on the Obamacare funds, the provisions were dropped. So, oh, hey, look, you want to help poor people afford their insurance premiums or people who are really, really sick? Well, just give us this draconian anti-abortion provision and we can call it a deal. Is it a deal? No? Okay, then. Well, here would be my deal. Go fuck yourself. Look, you need Democrats to vote for the spending bill to continue funding the government. So who's the party that's in power right now? Oh, that would be the Republicans. If the Democrats shut down the government over trying to fund sick people's health care and poor people's health care, look, that would look really bad on the Republicans. Because what they're trying to do is they're just trying to shoehorn this anti-choice piece of legislation. Again, the Democrats have amazing leverage here. And what are they doing? Well, they're not using it. Of course they're not using it. And look, apparently, this doesn't seem to be a Democratic priority. Strangely enough. But, look, while the Democrats do care about this, at least some do, there are also Republicans that care about this as well. Now, look, Suzanne Collins, for example. Suzanne Collins, she got support for these provisions, right, from Mitch McConnell. Now, Mitch McConnell said, okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to vote for our tax cut bill, and in return, what we're going to do in the Senate here is we're going to support these Obamacare fixed payments, because we know that's important for people in Maine. Well, it looks like, as I said, House Republicans are dropping this, and House Republicans are dropping it, then the Senate Republicans aren't going to have really much of an impetus to pick it up. So, now she, along with Lamar Alexander, pushed hard for the payments to be included. However, the abortion issue proved to be too high an obstacle. Sad. But what do you expect from Republicans? Again, Mitch McConnell made the deal. Paul Ryan made no such deal. Just like the same on the Dreamers. And I'll get to those, I'll get to that issue in a minute. But look, again, Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, they're not to be trusted, even if you were a fellow Republican. Because it turns out he and the rest of the party just served the donors and nothing else. Now, Collins, look, the reason that she's doing this is she realizes that she is vulnerable and actually needs her voters. And her voters, at least most of them, are not people who are like, yeah, fuck poor people. Let's go after the most vulnerable. Let's punish them for not being rich enough. No. Look, if Suzanne Collins presides over an enormous insurance rate increase for some of these very vulnerable people because of a fringe issue, most of her voters are going to be pissed. Again, as long as you're not part of that hardcore Republican base that says fuck poor people, which again is sadly a lot of what some Republican politicians represent. Case in point. And this is talking about the representatives. Some Republican representatives erupted into cheers and applause when GOP leaders announced that they would hold the line when it comes to insisting Hyde language be attached to any new Obamacare payments, according to a person in the room. Because fuck poor people who either need help with their premiums or to get an abortion with their private health insurance money that they pay into every month. This right here shows Republican hypocrisy and Republican priorities. They do not care. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.